place, huh, with y'all. I sure did, man. You paid the thing.
He about killed me because when he got here last night, it was air.
From the burn number 1 to Kentucky's Scotia mine, and a cloudy day in the Kentucky coal mine, being lost in life. And Todd, for all the ladies here, that's the wives of the miners or ladies that want to help, they are signing up new members today on the ladies auxiliary over here. So if there's anyone that wants to volunteer to help, and I can say this to you also, we're having a good time today, but I don't think anybody said it any better than Jesse Jackson when he said, "Your fight is our fight." And they're getting the microphones and the guitars set up here, so I guess I'm going to have to talk a little bit more. In case there's any doubt in your mind, I'm proud to be a member of Local 77 of the American Federation of Musicians, my union. She was a miner, and I am a miner's daughter. We shall not be moved just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Let's hear it. We shall. We will, you know. The way I see it, the song isn't a funeral dirge. It's a fighting song. Let's pick up the tempo and move it on home. This one's sitting down, so stand up. Let's sing. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong.
Is a fellow that plays some kind of banjo, and he's going to be playing for in a minute. He's asked me to dance, so I probably will. And this is Paul Yates. Now, I've done pretty good getting here today. Old George Jones, you know, he don't even show up, but I've got you. I'm going to do one of his songs here in a minute. And Hank Williams Jr., now he'll walk out on you, but I'm going to stay if you don't kick me out. What can I say? Say it! Let's hear it now. I hear people talking bad about the way we live here in this country. They're harping on the wars we fight and bragging about the way things ought to be. And I believe a man should stand up for what he believes in. But when you're running down our union, man, you're walking on the fighting side of me. You're walking on the fighting side of me. Running down the way like our union is falling down to me. If you don't love me, and the song that I'm singing still won't. When you're running down our union, man, you're walking on the fighting side of me. They sit in the big office on the hill. They're trying to bust our union, but I don't believe they will. If the fight's what they want, then the fight's what they're going to get. But this is one fight that we're not about to quit. We're walking on the fighting side of me. You're running down the way like our union is falling. If you don't love it, still warm. When you're running down our Union and you're walking along highway. Now they took our prisoner down with his cars and they kicked him out his hole. And now Piston says the baby don't need to feel. We can pour our skin in the corner and we'll do what we have to do. Cause this is one fight that we can afford to lose.
Running with that in my hand, the bus stop to pick up a paper for my old man. He set me up in that big old Buick, the steerers drove to town. He tousled my hair, say son, take a good look around. The whole town, it's your running high from my high school. There were lots of fights in black and white. There was nothing we could do. Cars at a light on Saturday night. The back seat there was a gun. Build a brand new world.
Also at this time, if they come forward, we have some UMWA youth going to lead us in a pledge for allegiance.
Stay right there.
song for us. Pamela?
Lay down on your belly. Lay down now.
They're going to go down and
They was at Free Alabama.
Leave me alone and let me stay. Lord, I am weak. Lord, I am Take my hand and lead me on through the storm, through the night. Lead me on to that light.
unions in the state of Virginia. He's got some people with him he's going to introduce. He wants to bid you a welcome. I'd like to introduce to you David Laws with the AFL-CIO representing.
Brothers and sisters, my name is Dave Laws, and I am president of the Virginia AFL-CIO. I have with me today Vice President Russ Axum, a little note of interest, Russ Axum's brother Junior works over here at Moss Free. And I see Russ's mother-in-law and daddy-in-law over there, Merle. All right. Good to see you. There they are. All right. I also want to introduce to you the Secretary-Treasurer of the Virginia AFL-CIO is Don LeBlanc. In behalf of the 200,000 members of the Virginia AFL-CIO, it gives us great pleasure to be here with the people of the salt of the earth. The salt of the earth. I love you. This state federation stands ready to assist you in every way possible. We have been in constant touch with President Trumka, and we certainly are pleased to join with everyone here in welcoming Reverend Jesse Jackson to be with us today. It is often said, there are those who will curse the dark, but there are those who will light a candle. You folks have lit that candle.
At this time, he's already got an army of green. I'm talking about Marty Hudson, especially one. He's also got him another army. And at this time, I'm going to let him come and introduce his other army, Marty.
To a speech, and then I get up to say it for him, and he's like, well, what am I supposed to say then? But I'll tell you, I have been in, this is serious, this is very serious. I've been in a lot of strikes, and it has been a long time since I have seen high school children with a movement in their heart. They would like everyone to move back from the speakers. I'll tell you what, I've worked hard for about a month and a half, and I think I got me about 4 or 5 more hundred high school students, and I'll tell you, we're going to shake up Southwest Virginia before this is over.
stand behind you all the way. I'm speaking on behalf of the newly formed UMWA Student Auxiliary of these area high schools. Fleetwood, Irvington, Coburn, Castlewood, Lebanon, Big Stone Gap, Watts, Homemaker, and Hannah. We're speaking out and standing up for our grandfathers and ancestors whose blood, sweat, and tears brought a better way of life to these mountains. And today, we are fighting with whatever it takes on behalf of our fathers, brothers, uncles, and yes, some mothers too, to make sure that some scab company doesn't take this privilege away. Our Constitution ensures us a government for the people and by the people, not for Pittston and by Pittston. Our taxes pay for the state police to protect the rights of all citizens equally, and not to be security guards for a company that wants to take these rights away. And now, one final word for our elected officials, local, state, federal, who for one reason or another are not here today. And to the officials of Pittston, don't think for 1 minute that the UMWA or anyone else gave us these words to say. Instead, what you have heard from my mouth today have come from the hearts of these students who stand united for the cause of justice, fairness, and the right to bargain for an honest way of life. For our families, our communities, our schools, and these, our beloved mountains, in which we hope will be here in the future. And now, Reverend Jackson, Mr. Trumpka, President of the UMWA, Mr. Roberts, Vice President, and Mr. Bonovic, Secretary. On behalf of the Student Auxiliary, we would like to present each of you with these camouflage uniforms representing our solidarity. Now, we hope to see you on the battle line, for united we stand.
Okay, at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you one of our first speakers, a gentleman I've worked with quite a long time when I was Secretary Treasurer. Enjoyed working with him. Anything I needed, anytime I called on him, he was there to help. His office was. At this time, I'd like to give you our International Secretary Treasurer, John Banovic. President Trumka, Vice President Roberts, district officials, Reverend Jackson, brothers and sisters, I have never been more proud to be your Secretary Treasurer than I am right now. One of my responsibilities of my office is to handle the union finances. But right now, I see before me the greatest asset this union has. The proud and brave men and women who make up the United Mine Workers family. Collectively, you represent a force much more powerful than all of the hoarded gold the coal operators can amass. They may have the dollars, but we have the people. And brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you, the Pittston Company better sit up and take notice, because the people are winning. We are winning because we're united. We are winning because we're determined. And we are winning because we have a game plan to bring us to victory. And I'm not talking just about the active UMWA miners. I am referring to the entire family, the pensioners, the widows, the laid off and disabled miners, and all of the wives and husbands, and children, and town merchants, the clergy, the school teachers, and all of the many supporters from the rest of the labor movement who have been so generous with their solidarity and show of commitment to our struggle. All of us make up this big, united, and powerful family. You know, in a cemetery in my hometown of Mount Olive, Illinois, lies a woman who was one of the giants of the labor movement and a leader in the UMWA's fight to organize. Mary Mother Harris Jones. In the early part of this century, Mother Jones said, and I quote, "The story of coal is always the same. It is a dark story. For a second's more sunlight, men must fight like tigers. For the privilege of seeing the color of their children's eyes by the light of sun, fathers must fight like beasts in a jungle. That life may have something of a decency, something of beauty, a picture, a new dress, a bit of cheap lace fluttering in the window. For these men who work down in the mines must struggle and lose and struggle and win. If Mother Jones were living today, she would be so proud of her daughters down here. She surely would be on the front lines with you, sitting in the roads, sitting in the company offices, struggling to win a fair measure of justice for those of us who dig out the coal that has made the mine corporation so profitable. Mother Jones will be proud of the men, women, and yes, even the children who have taken the stand for decency and a community. All of you here today are continuing in Mother Jones' tradition. Just like in her day, you're standing up against tremendous odds to corporate greed and power. You're struggling to lead a healthy and productive life, free of chains of bondage. You're standing up under adversity for your organization, the United Mine Workers of America, that brought us together in strength for the common goal of social and economic justice. As everyone here knows very well, the United Mine Workers of America did not want this strike. We did everything we could to prevent it. We worked 14 long months without a contract. We agreed to a 60-day cooling off period requested by 3 governors. We have tried to meet with the company's top executives to settle this dispute, all to no avail. All during this time, Pittston committed criminal acts after criminal acts, as the National Labor Relations Board has recently charged. Pittston cut off the health insurance for 1,500 of our retirees, widows, and disabled miners, leaving those most vulnerable without health care. Pittston unilaterally eliminated arbitration for most grievances. Pittston severed pension contributions for the working miners, while have attempted to negotiate a new contract over the last year and a half. Pittston has been negotiating a strike. And brothers and sisters, a strike is exactly what they got. Brothers and sisters, I have news for Paul Douglas and Mike Odom. We're going to give you a strike you never bargained for. And all the gun thugs and state police pits that can buy won't stop it. Before I close, let me say one more thing to Mike Odom. This union takes great offense at your suggestion that our religious faith is a matter of convenience. Just because you think that workers should be treated like beasts of burden and work on the Sabbath does not mean that the God-fearing people of this region will put up with it. We may want to go to church. We may want to be with our family. Coal miners are not machines. We are breathing, feeling human beings. strike is about anything, it is about our insistence that Pittston recognizes these facts. Brothers and sisters, thank you for your courage and your tremendous dignity. With such determination, I am certain victory will be ours. The guy that we're all truly proud of in 28, he headed up our negotiation team. We sat for a year across the table looking at people that didn't know what to say or what to do. I give you our International Vice President, Cecil Roberts.
I thank you, Brother Stump, for those kind remarks. This rain is welcome. We welcome the rain. We are prepared to stand in the sunshine, the rain, the snow, the sleet, and the hail until we get what is our just due. I didn't write anything down today. I just thought I'd share some thoughts with you. This is just a little walk for freedom. Would somebody out there stand up for freedom? Would somebody out there stand up for freedom? 100 years ago, this walk started. And we weren't in that walk when it started. Mother Jones and John L. Lewis, and Sid Hatfield and Thomas Kennedy, and all those great leaders before us started this walk. We used to have something that I called Appalachia apartheid. We lived in those company houses and those company towns. My father's father couldn't come out of the coal camp without signing out. And I tell you, that's wrong. My father had to quit school in the 8th grade to go to work in the coal mines, and I tell you, that's wrong. We had to go to the company doctors when I was a child, and that's wrong. And we had to listen to the company preacher when I was a child, and I'll tell you, that's wrong. And I'll tell you, we ain't going back there no more. Jackson, when Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement down south, people looked at the dogs and old Paul Connors and they said, ain't nobody gonna turn us around. Paul Connors, you ain't gonna turn us around. Ain't no injunction gonna turn us around. Jailhouse gonna turn us around. And I tell you, ain't no Paul Douglas gonna turn us around. Ain't no Mike Odom gonna turn us around. Ain't no state police gonna turn us around. Ain't no bad security gonna turn us around. And if we got to, we'll all go to jail and one thing. Justice in America, where has it gone? In 1983, Pittston killed 7 of our brothers and sisters in McClure. I went to McClure and I saw 2 state police cars at the mouth of that holler. And they were there for one purpose, and that was to make sure Pittston didn't get any adverse publicity over murder. And let me tell you about violence. Pittston blew up that mine and violated the law, and nobody did it. Ain't nobody done nothing about that. You sat in the road. You sat in the road. And let me paraphrase Dr. King for a moment, if I might. This is a just reaction to an improper action in your right. Young people out there that stood on this stage, I cried when you come up here, and I'm not ashamed of that. We're standing at the crossroads in this long journey. We can go to the left, we can go to the right, we can go forward, but by hell we ain't going back. Those chains of oppression. We ain't going back to no company store. We ain't going back to no company house. We ain't going back to no company town. These kids that were up here today is gonna have an education just like everybody else did.
At this time, I'd like to give you a man that needs no induction. I feel like I'm just a small spoke on a big wheel. Well, let me rephrase that, maybe a big spoke on a bigger wheel. I choose our international president, Richard L. Trumka. I gotta tell you something. I've been in a lot of places in my life. I've seen a lot of people. But by God, I've never seen a better, more determined crowd than I see right now. We invited Governor Blouse to be here with us today. He couldn't be here, but he sent 300 of his representatives. They're the ones in the blue and the gray. Now let me give you the good news. I got a telex in my hand right here.
This telex came from the Australian Coal Miners Union. This telex says that they support the Pittston striking miners. This telex tells the Japanese that they won't supply coal to the Japanese. The rain is kind of refreshing, isn't it? Reverend Jackson, Vice President Roberts, Secretary Treasurer Banovic, District Presidents, brothers and sisters, UMWA family one and all, thank you. Thank you for doing me the honor of letting me speak to you today. You see, history is with us today. By being here, we honor the common men and women who came before us. With uncommon courage, they passionately struggled to build a decent life here in Appalachia. And by standing here together today, we recall the unity and the solidarity of our grandparents and their ancestors relied upon to build this great union. Ah, yes, history's with us today in these mountains that surround us, in these beautiful green mountains that surround us. Generations of coal miners, generations and their families have lived, have fought, and have died to win their fair slice of the American dream. These hills and hollows echo with the sagas of coal miners who have sacrificed and who have suffered generation after generation to win a better life for themselves and for their children. Ah, yes. If these mountains could speak, what a story they would tell. Stories of muscles strained, of blood shed by thousands of our ancestors. Thousands. Thousands of working people fighting for decent wages, fighting for safety, fighting for the privilege to spend a few more minutes in the sun, fighting for the right to spend Sunday at church with their families. Today, this very day, we stand at a crossroads of our history. Paul Douglas and his Greenwich, Connecticut cohorts at the Piston Company want us to take us on a long road, a very long road, far back to a time when the operators freely ravaged Appalachia, to a time when coal miners and their families had less value to the company than a mule. They want to take us back. They want to take us back. But we, you and I, are gathered here today to give Pittston a message, to send them a loud and clear message. Mr. Douglas, we, the young, the old, the crippled and infirm, the healthy, all of us gathered here today are the heirs to the legacy of sacrifice and struggle that built our great union, and we will not go back.
dignity to fight for the freedoms that our ancestors fought for. And we will not go back one single inch in the process. Mr. Douglas, we're gathered here to make our own history today. We will not allow you to break our union. We will not allow you to take us back in time when there was no protection for workers from the greed of the bosses. We will never permit you, Mr. Douglas, to turn back the time when miners and their family had no security, no health insurance, no safety protection, no retirement security. No, Mr. Douglas, we're not gone back. If he were here today,
I wish he was. I wish he was
better. If he were here today, he'd see thousands of coal miners, he'd see your families, he'd see your wives, he'd see your children, he'd see all of the community supporters, and he'd get a message loud and clear. We will not go back. Not today, not tomorrow, not next year, not 1,000 years from now. We will not go back. I don't see him or any of his Greenwich, Connecticut cohorts that call the shots that adversely affect our security, that adversely affect our community, that adversely affect our way of life. You see,
I don't see Bilal's either.
They don't love these mountains. They don't love coal miners the way we do. They don't love the feel of cold air coming down the hollow with the fresh breath of spring and freedom in it. They don't love that stuff. They could never imagine living in Appalachia. They could never imagine living in Clintwood or Wise or Norton or Logan or Stone, Kentucky. They couldn't imagine living here and sending their children to the same schools that we send our children here. They couldn't imagine shopping in our shopping malls. They couldn't imagine owning a car that has a license plate from Virginia or West Virginia or Kentucky. They couldn't imagine any of that. And they couldn't imagine attending our churches or giving up their paycheck for their friends.
Ain't it beautiful?
Imagine us as a backward, ignorant group of people. They imagine us easy plunder. But I have a message message for Paul Douglas and his Greenwich cohorts. Never, never, never will not go back. 2 years ago, Pittston was the only major company that refused to be bound by a new contract resulting from industry-wide bargaining with the BCOA. Those negotiations produced a 5-year contract with aggressive joint labor management relations. It includes operator savings on labor costs in return for job rights. It includes job rights to lease mines. It includes job rights to sublease mines. And it included a 15% reduction in labor costs for them. But Pittston wanted to go negotiate its own contract instead. And when the 1984 agreement expired, we, all of us, offered to work under a contract extension. But Pittston refused. We decided to continue negotiations and avoid disrupting coal production at the company's operations. And Pittston responded with absolute contempt for its employees and for the communities in Appalachia. Pittston stopped paying into our pension fund. And for 15 months, Pittston has employed today's version of the Baldwin Belt thugs to provoke, to imitate, intimidate, to try to get you to do the violent things. The Baldwin Belt thugs can't win. Pittston's alliance with the government can't win. Pittston's refusal to bargain with you will not cause them to win. For 15 months, Pittston's turned a deaf ear on us. For 15 months, they've unilaterally changed working conditions. And the most vicious act of all, for 15 months, they've cut off health care insurance to the retired, to the widows, to the disabled. They've cut off that insurance. For 15 months, Pittston has made a sham out of collective bargaining. For 15 months, Pittston has said the dispute is not over money, that they can easily afford our proposals. And for the same 15 months, proposal after proposal made by Pittston has attempted to strip away your health care, strip away your take-home pay, strip away your pensions, strip away your job protections. And for 15 months, Pittston has attempted to have the rest of the industry pay for the health care of its pensioners that they incurred and that they are legally and morally obligated to pay. For 15 months, Pittston has feebly tried to justify its unreasonable and its immoral acts by claiming that it is somehow unique. Unique. Imagine that. Pittston is unique. After 40 years of leading the BCOA and claiming to be the same as all the rest of the industry, Pittston now discovers that it's unique. The company that employs the most modern mining machinery and techniques is unique. The company that mines coal under the best conditions and in the best seams is unique. The company that mines coal amidst hundreds of other non-unique operators in the same market is somehow unique. The same company that received a $5 a ton increase in its prices from the Japanese, while all the other companies have received drastic cuts, is unique. Well, the only thing unique about Pittston is is its unique loss of memory. Pittston uniquely forgets about its pensioners, its widowers, and its disabled miners and their health care. Pittston uniquely forgets about the years of loyalty and the commitment you gave to it. Pittston is willing to give your jobs to total strangers, scabs, who are willing to work for us, who are willing to lower your standard of living. The only thing unique about this dispute is your unique rights to your job, your unique right to a contract, your unique right to job security. Mr. Pittston, we will not go back. God smiles when you speak the truth, doesn't he? Pittston claims that its newfound uniqueness requires it to have operational flexibility. Operational flexibility. It's an interesting term, isn't it? I imagine Pittston only had to pay their lawyers a couple of $100,000 to invent that new term. But what does Pittston really mean by operational flexibility? Operational flexibility means no successorship clause in your contract. That gives Pittston the flexibility to sell your mine out from under you, to sell your jobs to another, to sell your jobs in our contract, in our union, with nothing for us to say about it. Should we agree to that flexibility? Should we agree to that flexibility? Operational flexibility. It means the unlimited right to subcontract out our work. That means Pittston has the flexibility to cause massive job losses by having outsiders come in and do our work. The flexibility to give our works to scabs. Should we give them that operational flexibility? Operational flexibility means a single employer pension plan instead of the multi-employer pension plan Pittston itself helped create. It means Pittston has the flexibility to terminate your pension plan at will, as they terminated your health care plan a few months ago. Should we give Pittston the operational flexibility to do that? Operational flexibility does not mean job security. It does not mean hope for 4,000 laid-off miners. It does not mean commitment. It means Pittston's commitment is lacking totally to you. Operational flexibility is nothing more than a lightly veiled code word for the flexibility to destroy our union, to destroy our job protection, to destroy our pensions, to destroy our health care. And I want them to know we will not go back, not one step. On occasion after occasion, we've demonstrated our good faith to Pittston. We worked for 15 months without a contract. When the governors from Kentucky and Virginia and West Virginia requested for us to work an additional 60 days, we did that. When the three governors asked me to meet with Paul Douglas directly to negotiate a settlement, I agreed to do so. And I stand ready today to meet with him today, tomorrow, the next day, and any day after that, if it can arrive in a settlement in this dispute. And just 2 days ago, we accepted the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia's offer to mediate this dispute. We hoped for reason to prevail to avoid a strike. But Pittston has made no such showing of good faith. Instead, Pittston has violated the National Labor Relations Act. Pittston has violated the Employee Retirement Income Security Act. Pittston has been charged with discrimination and violations of the Civil Rights Act. They've been charged with violations of the Age Discrimination Act. They've shown utter contempt for the law. They know that powerful employers can abuse our system because the NLRB is now being used as a strike breaker instead of a mediation board. And Pittston will do its utmost to exploit the sobering fact of life in American labor relations. Brothers and sisters, Pittston's actions are sending us a message. A loud and a clear message. They're telling us that they intend to disregard the law of the land. They're telling us they want to break our union. They're telling us that their profit margin is far more important than the security and well-being of our members and our communities. Well, I got the feeling that we're gathered here today to send Paul Douglas and his Greenwich, Connecticut cohorts a loud message. We're exercising our lawful right to strike only as a last resort, and we will not go back. We're exercising our lawful right to strike because you gave us no choice, and we will not go back. We're exercising our lawful right to strike to protest your disregard of the law, and we will not go back. We're exercising our lawful right to strike to protect our rights and the security of our family, our communities, and our families, and we will not go back. Let us go forth to every citizen of the surrounding communities. Let the word go forth to Governor Bliles, who was too busy to come here and be with us today. To the mayors, to the owners of small businesses and shops, to church leaders, to school teachers, to football coaches, to doctors and lawyers, let the word go forth to the members of my union, whether you're working, whether you're on strike, whether you're unemployed, or whether you're retired. Let the word go forth to wives, to women and daughters, to all the children in high school, to all the children in grade school. Let the word go forth that the United Mine Workers will not allow you to take our jobs, to destroy our community, to take us back. We will not go back. We will not go back. We work, we generate the profits, we will not go back. And we'll never submit to Pittston's corporate greed to exploit the labor of coal miners and the goodwill of our communities. We will not go back.
to the wives, to the widows, to the auxiliary members and the daughters of Mother Jones. I want you to hear from me that this union is here to stay and it's here to fight. And with your help, with each of your help, we have the power to win this strike. You and all of us can draw inspiration from Mother Jones, whose birthday we will celebrate tomorrow. She once said, in the years to come, the nation will pay high tribute to the wives of coal miners, for they were fighting for the advancement of a great country. On behalf of all of us, I have to say to all of you, today is that day. I'm here to sing your praises because the women in this union, because our supporters are auxiliaries, the women, our grandmothers and mothers alike, sisters and wives, have always been the backbone of this union. And you tell Pittston, we will not go back. Billy clubs, helicopters, state police cruisers are all powerless in the face of a community unified in nonviolent protest. Unity, discipline, solidarity, and nonviolence will win the day. We will not go back. We're now engaged in an unfair labor practice strike. We have laid down our tools. We've ceased our labor. We no longer go to the mine each day to work. Those not involved may wonder, what is a strike? What is it that causes these thousands of workers and their families to forego their wages? Just what is it? Well, I have to tell you, a strike is resistance. A strike is collective resistance to wrongs that have become unbearable. It's wrong to deny pensioners health care. We will not go back.
The day of great joy and celebration. We the people have come together and found common ground in our struggle for jobs and justice. When you look around today, you see the tradition of John L. Lewis and Martin Luther King Jr. has come together, and we will not go back.
up, stand up. We stood with farmers and workers in Virginia in 1984, in 1988, and we won. And we'll keep standing together. We'll win again in 1992. This is not just your strike, it's the people's strike. Workers everywhere must identify with this strike. Farmers everywhere must identify with this strike. Across lines of race and sex and religion, we must find common ground. Red, yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in God's sight. If we can learn, to live together 7, 8, and 9 miles down in the ground where we all survive alike and struggle alike and suffer alike and catch black and brown lung disease and die together alike, we can come up on the ground and breathe free together alike. Beneath the ground, we can live together up on the ground. And we are glad today that the state police is here to protect us from Pittsburgh. Our challenge today is to reinvest in America, to stop drugs from coming in, stop jobs from going out, and invest in America. A honeybee is said not to have a brain, on an instinct or a buzz. But a honeybee gets its nectar from a flower. That's its profit. That's its joy. That's its gratification. When the honeybee gets the nectar from the flower, it doesn't just fly away. It drops pollen where it picks up nectar. And then it flies away. Because the honeybee, which does not even have a brain, knows as surely as it flies away, one day it will get empty. And it must fly back. If you did not drop pollen, where it picked up nectar, the flower would die. If the flower would die, then the honeybee would die. If the honeybee has enough sense to feed the flower that it robs, Pittsburgh must have enough sense to feed the flower. You stabbed labor in America and slave labor in South Africa. I know those of you who are scabs, who may hear our voice, we're concerned about you, for you too deserve a job, and health care, and housing, and dignity. Your children also deserve education, but your future is in solidarity, and dignity, and self-respect. Do not choose short-term pleasure for long-term pain. Stand with your neighbor. Stand with your neighbor. Stand with your neighbor. Your neighbors are not in British Connecticut. Your neighbors are in the Gap, in Virginia, in Tennessee. There is honor in hard work and getting paid for the work you do. The basic message to the scab is this: you take somebody's job for $1 less today. There's a crowd waiting with $1 less to take your job tomorrow. Coal miners, the elected officials, the senators, the president, all must have expressed a place in your heart for miners and farmers. Farmers who fed the nation have now been abandoned. Coal miners who energized the nation and warmed the coal nation and gave energy to wheels of industry are now being abandoned. We cannot be a great nation and turn our backs on the hands that fed us and energized us. Coal miners provided the nation with energy. You warmed the coal nation. You fueled the furnaces that built America into the mightiest nation in the history of the world. Now you're being told that your useful days are over unless you accept more danger and less dignity, more coal dust and lung disease and less health care. Profits up, wages down, workers abandoned. More than your salary is at stake. Your heritage and your dignity is at stake. You must not go back. The spirit of John L. Lewis and Martin Luther King Jr. cannot be defeated. You are not alone. As I watch these children come on the stage, they made my heart swell up with joy with all of the struggle now to stop drugs and to stop dope. When our children fight for that which is unselfish and mature, they replace hope with dope. That's the cure. A fight for hope. Down with dope and up with hope. Whenever young America stands up, we always get better. When young America will move away from liquor picking their brains away from drugs as anesthesia for their pain. When babies will stop making babies and have a sense of self-respect and dignity and future, they have power. We have a public accommodations bill where everybody can use any hotel, a motel, a park, a library, regardless of race or sex or religion, because young America, when Dr. King was 26 years old, stood up. We now have the right of every American to vote, including 18-year-olds, because young America stood up. We are going to stop the threat of nuclear war because young America has stood up. We're going to end economic violence against workers and stop the flow of drugs because young America is going to stand up. Coal miners, you do not stand alone. Don't make the mistake of seeing this strike in isolation. 28,000 Eastern workers have been abandoned. Mr. Bush had the opportunity. You stand here today, 28,000 Eastern workers stand with you. Millions making $3.35 an hour stand with you. This is a great moment to come together, my friends. Two things we must know about this poverty issue in America today. First of all, most poor people are not black or brown. Most poor people are white and female and young. But whether white, black, or brown, hunger hurts. A baby that goes to bed supperless at night cries out in hunger. We must not let race be used as a substitute for jobs and justice and fairness and insurance and health care and education. But don't stop there. Most poor people are not lazy. That's the big lie. Most poor folk are not on welfare. They work every day. They make $3.35 an hour, which lads work $2.51 an hour. They work every day. They are family farmers. They work every day. They are coal miners. They work every day. They cook food in school. They work every day. They raise other people's children. They work every day. They change beds in hotels at $3.35 an hour. They work every day. They work in the hospitals when we're sick. They wipe down our feverish bodies. They empty our bedpans. No job is beneath them, and yet they die in emergency rooms because they don't have a green or yellow card to go upstairs to a bathroom. United will never be defeated. Tell Mr. Douglas, tell Lorenzo, tell Bush, we the common people will not go back. Don't you panic. Sometime when pain comes, panic comes. Don't turn on your wives. Don't you panic. Because the food is a little short. You can't make ends meet. Don't abandon your children. Don't go back on your family. Don't trip out and surrender your self-respect and pickle your brains with liquor. Don't you escape through drugs. Don't you self-destruct. You embrace your wife. You hold up those children and you stand and keep your families together. Keep your families together. Keep your families together. Keep your family together. Keep your with this note, because sometimes we rally and release our energy, and then the enemy says, now what? My friends, on this note I leave you. Struggle is about having a new equation. You are abandoned there because you're locked out of the equation. When I was growing up in South Carolina, my grandmama couldn't buy a loaf of bread. My wife loved me as much as my grandma loved me, but she loved me, of course, in a different way. It was not grandma's hands that made biscuits rise. It was not grandma's love that made biscuits rise. Baking powder made biscuits rise. What am I saying? Hear me now. How did Europe and Japan rise again? Hear me, workers. America. We put forth a Marshall Plan, a 25-year plan to make them rise again. We made right now in the books now 50-year loans to Great Britain, West Germany, and France, and Tokyo. 50-year loans at 2% government secured. They still got 20 years to go to repay 2% loans government secured. Hear me, friends. If we have 50-year loans government secured, we can bail out Norton and Norfolk and Washington. If we can rebuild London and Paris and Tokyo, we can rebuild Norton and Kingsport and Virginia and Maryland and South Carolina. How did they rise again? We are spending $300 billion a year on defense. $150 billion a year defending Europe and Japan 45 years after the war. Spend that money building up their cities, building missiles that will not be fired, preparing for a war that will not be fought. And every time you demand health care down in these hills, you demand housing down in these hills, you demand education for your children, and he to tell you that black folks are coming to get you or the Russians. The Russians ain't coming, and black folks are your friends.
the mother got entrenched